Hi, grade 7 students! It's me again, Ma'am Rona R. Fruto of Malintan National High School, your arts teacher for today. It's another day to discover remarkable contributions in arts of our native Filipinos. Before we begin, here are a few reminders that you need to observe in this learning engagement. First, be prepared. Get ready with your MAPE self-learning module, notebook, and ballpen so you can answer directly on your module and take down notes of important information. Second, sit properly and keep a good posture while watching. Third, avoid unnecessary comments like emojis or stickers that are not related in the discussion and activities. Fourth, be polite. Do not use unpleasant words in answering, asking questions, and expressing your thoughts. Lastly, be attentive. Participating in the activity and discussion will be highly appreciated. These are the competencies that you are about to learn in this video. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to create crafts that can be locally assembled with local materials, guided by local traditional techniques. Derive elements from traditions or history of a community for one's artwork. Show the relationship of the development of crafts in specific areas of the country according to functionality, traditional specialized expertise, and availability of resources. Show the relationship of Mindanao's arts and crafts to Philippine culture, traditions, and history, particularly with Islamic influences and indigenous practices. Before we begin, let us recall the lesson last session. Choose the letter of your answer. You can participate by typing your answers in the comment section or writing it down on your notebook or paper. Are you ready? Great! Let's start. It is a legendary bird of the Maranao. It is depicted as a fowl with colorful wings and feathered tail, holding a fish on its beak or talons. Letter A, sarimanok. B, kandit. C, okir. D, saruk. The answer is letter A, sarimanok. Number 2, it refers to traditional and unique carving and prominent to any design among the Moro ethno-linguistic communities. The name comes from an old Malayan word which means carve or ukit in Filipino. A, pick. B, kandit. C, okir. D, saruk. The answer is letter C, okir. Number 3, a traditional Filipino tube skirt that is made of hand-woven or machine-made multicolored cotton cloth bearing a variety of geometric or floral designs. A, tinalak. B, malong. C, seputangan. D, bajulapi. The answer is letter B, malong. Number 4, a square cloth used by the Yakan women as a head cover. A, tinalak. B, seputangan. C, kandit. D, bajulapi. The answer is letter D, seputangan. Number 5, a traditional dance which demonstrates the various ways of wearing the malong. A, singkil. B, pamalong. C. Dugso, D. Kapamalong-malong. The answer is letter D. Kapamalong-malong. Did you get all the answers correctly? Very good for those who got perfect score. Mindanao has a rich and diverse culture which can be seen in their traditional arts and crafts. We will continue discovering the folk arts of Mindanao. Let's discuss the architectural grands in Mindanao, starting with Torogan. Torogan is the ancestral house of the upper-class Maranao. Torogan literally means resting or sleeping place. This is where the Datu and his wives and children lives. The Torogan of the Datu must be the largest house in the Sultanate, for it signifies rank, prestige, and wealth. It was also a communal house where affairs of the community were held. Torogan House has ochre design on its beams and sides. Another distinct design of Torogan House is the panolong. It is a wing-like ornament of a Torogan flaring out from the beams. Panolong has ochre carving, usually features the naga or serpent, takorabong or stylized fern, as well as floral and star and bud motifs. Panolong is the most dominant and distinct feature of Torogan. Badiao houses are also an interesting architecture in Mindanao. The Badiao, also known as Sama Badiao, are the sea gypsies or nomads of the Sulu Sea. Their main sources of living is fishing and hunting. Because of their livelihood, some live on boats or houses on stilts around the Sulu archipelago. Badiao houses are built almost entirely out of driftwood and debris from coastal cities. When a storm hits a home or community, neighboring Badiao will spare as much material of their own as possible to help fortify damaged homes. This is the Grand Mosque of Cotabato, sitting near the idle banks of Tamuntaka River. It is founded by the Philippine government and the Sultan of Brunei. The Grand Mosque is the largest among mosques in the Philippines, also known as the Sultan Haji Hanasal Bolkiah Masjid. The four minarets stands at a towering 43 meters high, more or less 15-story building. Next is the fourth pillar of Zamboanga. The historical fourth pillar, also known as Real Fuerza de Nuestra Señora del Pilar de Zaragoza, was founded in 1635 and still stands strong until today. It was engineered by Father Melchor de Vera, a Jesuit priest. It was built to protect the people from pirates of the Sulu Sea. Fourth Pillar is now an outdoor Roman Catholic Marian shrine and a regional branch of the National Museum of the Philippines. Inside the fort, only southern structure is still in ruins. Inside and outside of the fort are well-maintained gardens. Have you ever joined the pilgrimage during Holy Week? This is the Monastery of the Transfiguration in Bukidnon. It has been a top destination for pilgrims during Holy Week in the province of Bukidnon. Would you think that this is a monastery? The Monastery of the Transfiguration of Bukidnon is located atop of a hill in Malaybalay, Bukidnon, founded by Father Abbot Eduardo Africa and run by the Benedictine monks. This amazing pyramid-like structure was designed by national artist for architecture Leandro Locsin. It is one of his last designs and considered as one of his best. Mindanao has also Catholic churches, one of which is the Santa Rosario Church of Camiguin. The church is located at the town of Sagay, Camiguin Island. The original church was built in 1882 using coral stones, but the old infrastructure was too weak. It was retrofitted with steel bars using modern building techniques. The unique things that you can find in the church are driftwood chandeliers and altar. The builders of the local materials, particularly bamboo skin, which highlights the local tradition of the island. It is also called the Green Church. Mindanao is also famous with sculptures. Let's take a look at the sculptures from Mindanao. This is Maitum jar. What do you think is the purpose of this jar? Yes, an earthenware vessel for secondary burial from Sarangani province. These artifacts were first discovered in 1991 and are now in the protection of the National Museum. The Maitum jars are anthropomorphic, characterized by a design that shows human figures with complete or partial facial pictures of the first inhabitants of Mindanao. Additionally, they give emphasis to the Filipinos' popular beliefs of life after death. According to the archaeological team, this type of burial jars are remarkably unique and intriguing because they have not been found elsewhere in Southeast Asia. The Tibuli tribe in Mindanao are skillful sculptors focusing largely on the wildlife of their local area. These products are for decorations and are being sold commercially. Brass casting is also a tradition among Tibulis. The traditional Tibuli brass casting method involves several steps, tools, and materials. First, the clay will be the mold for the final product. Liquid brass is then melted and poured into the mold. The clay mold is allowed to cool, with the brass caster submerging it in the water for a few minutes. Once the clay mold has cooled down, the brass caster cracks it open with a hammer to reveal the newly cast brass object inside. The brass maker then uses other hand tools to remove the remaining clay from the brass surface and to cut the product apart. The product is then polished to perfection. Just like Tibulis, Maranao tribe are also sculptors. They are skillfully remarkable in wood carving and metal casting as acknowledged by UNESCO World Heritage Site. Maranao utilizes a technique called the lost wax process in their metal casting. These are other products of Maranao. Raru Baklong is a metallic armor made of brass plates, carabao horn, and interlocking ringlets. It is a protective armor of Moro warriors as counterpart to the vest used by Spanish soldiers. Kampilan is a single-edged steel sword with a handle made of hand-curved ivory in the form of the head of the naga or serpent. Handcrafted gold and hanged horsehair at the bottom of the handle. Batige is a large manually carved wooden top inlaid with mother of pearl. It is used by adult males to test their skills and strength. Candy is a heirloom teapot or kettle used for hot water, coffee, or tea. Gador is a large, intricate, decorated white metal tobacco container. It has become an item of interior decoration in proper Maranao households. Tribes in Mindanao also have functional arts. These are their balanghay and binta boats. Balanghay, also known as balangay or butuan boat, is a large wooden boat used by the pre-colonial Filipinos to traverse seas for trade or migration. Archaeologists found parts of the balangay in Butuan City in 1967. These artifacts are dated from anywhere between 320 to 1250 CE. They are estimated to measure 15 meters long and 3 to 4 meters wide, propelled by a sail of buri or nipa fiber or padding, and to hold 60 to 90 people. It was used for cargo and raiding purposes, serving as evidence that Butuan played a central role in trade. Unlike the balanghay, Vinta is a smaller boat. This boat is traditionally made by the Bajaus who live in the Sulu archipelago. These boats are small and not meant to be used for long ocean travel. They are used for livelihood activities such as fishing and diving for pearls and transportation around the archipelago. The sail, called vinta, consists of several colors and geometric shapes, representing the colorful culture and history of the Muslim people. There you have it, the folk arts of Mindanao. Now, let me see if you really listened to our discussion about folk arts of Mindanao. Your knowledge will be assessed through this activity. This activity is a memory game. For 5 seconds, pictures of different folk arts in Mindanao will be presented. When the pictures are turned over, a description of folk arts will be stated. Choose the letter of the picture that corresponds to the description. You can participate by typing your answers in the comment section or writing it down on your notebook or paper. Are you ready? Great! Let's start! Number 1. This boat consists of several colors and geometric shapes. It is small and not meant to be used for long ocean travel. The answer is letter A, Vinta. Number 2. An earthenware vessel for secondary burial from Sarangani province. The answer is letter D, maitum jar. Number 3. The largest mosque in the Philippines, sitting near the idle banks of Tamuntaka River, Cotabato. The answer is letter C, Grand Mosque of Cotabato. Number 4. A church located at the town of Sagay, Camiguin Island. The answer is letter D, Santo Rosario Church. Number 5. It is a heirloom teapot or kettle used for hot water, coffee, or tea. The answer is letter A, candy. Good job, everyone! Thank you for participating. Congratulations to those who got all the correct answers. For those who did not, don't worry. Follow-up discussion will be conducted by your arts teacher. Mindanao is a unique island with a diverse population of people who are proud of their ethnic heritage. Their folk arts reflect great culture and traditions. It is important that we preserve and disseminate the traditional folk arts of our country. You will design your own vinta for your performance task. These are the materials: 2 pieces of short bond paper, popsicle sticks or sticks, art papers or colored papers, and glue or paste and scissors. You may also use alternative materials available in your household. Watch this video clip of paper vinta making. While doing the activity, be careful in using scissors or other sharp objects. Have you tried making a paper boat before? Be creative and level up your boat by transforming it into a vinta. Please refer to the rubrics of this activity. Number 1, Elements of Arts and Principles of Design, 20%. Number 2, Creativity or Originality, 30%. Number 3, Effort or Perseverance, 30%. Number 4, Craftsmanship, or consistency, 20%. Total of 100%. I hope you have learned something from our discussion. Once again, this is Ma'am Rona R. Fruto. See you again here on Valenzuela Live. Thank you and have a productive day.